So now we are going to move on to the basic shapes. They are really very important because we are just going to cover a wide range of shapes that will be used for figure modeling and even in the human figure making throughout this course. So I have split the shapes into few different lessons so we have a better understanding. So as I'm going to work on each of the shape, I'm going to term them, tag them with names, say starting with S1 and S2, which is shape 1 and shape 2, and using those codes, it is going to be something we are going to use in the upcoming lessons when we are going to work on the actual figurine making itself. Okay, so now in this particular lesson we are going to make a ball, a oval, and another variation of a oval. So the ball is the first and the foremost shape that is necessary to make it properly without any creases, and that will be the foundation. So any shape that you do in the future, the first thing will be the ball that we will be making, and from the ball we will learn how to do an oval shape, and we are going to have two different variations. The first oval comes in handy when we are making the face of animals mostly, and the second oval, the S3 that we are going to do will be the shape for human faces that we will be making in the human figurine modeling lesson as well. Okay, so this is the fondant that I had colored. Now I'm just going to pick up some fondant. Okay, and now the rest of the fondant I don't want to allow it to dry. So instead of cling wrapping it each time and then opening up, if you're just going to use it in the next half an hour and then finish it up, you can have a bowl and then leave the fondant covered with a bowl, and then you can set it aside, and then you can start working on the fondant you just picked up. And once this is done, then you could just open the bowl and then you can have that to use it again. So I'm just going to set that bowl aside, and I have the fondant here. So when you just pick up the fondant from the ball, you will have the creases and the folds. Okay, so now if the ball is not formed properly, so you are, now this is an exaggerated version that I am showing, but then even in case you're just going to put in pressure and then make a ball, so these are the creases and the lines, the joints are going to be seen, and that needs to be avoided. So that is the first important thing. Now once you have the ball, the first thing you will do is to knead it and make it soft, because maybe the fondant was colored and wrapped up and kept the previous day, or maybe it is even older than that. So first warm it up, which is by kneading, and when you knead, you will just maybe check if it is getting sticky. You just need to dab a bit of corn flour in your fingers, just rub it over where you're just getting it sticky. Don't add too much. Okay, and put this softened fondant in the palm of one of the hand and use the other hand to just press it first. You can see it is almost getting flat there. Press it well, and with good amount of pressure, keep rolling it. Now with that pressure, the creases are just going to vanish, because with the heat of the palms, it's just going to vanish, and then release the pressure. So the flattened fondant in between your palm is just going to become a ball. Okay, so now we have the ball, and now you can see the ball is like super shiny. There are no creases found, and that will be the first one. So make sure you're kneading it, making it soft, and when it is getting soft, there are two things that can happen to the fondant. One is to get sticky because your hands are warm. The other, maybe the fondant is like really old and then it is dry. Now if it is dry, you have to touch upon a little bit of shortening and then knead. If it is sticky, then you need to touch upon a little bit of corn flour and then knead. Put enough pressure, press it down nearly well, and release the pressure, so the flattened fondant in between your palms just moves and becomes a ball, and then you have a super shiny smooth ball. Okay, now I'm going to pick up some more fondant for the second shape, which is the, so the rest I'm just going to keep it covered in the bowl I'm going to set it aside, and this I'm going to do the shape S2, which is the oval, which is oval 1. Okay, so again the first step is to soften it by kneading. Kneading is nothing but pulling, twist, pull, and then fold it back, pull and fold it back. Okay, if it is not sticking much and if you're able to handle it, then again, even for this, the first step is to, I'm just going to set these aside. Okay, so you have the ball, the fondant with creases. I'm going to put it in between my palms, full on pressure. So I'm just squishing the ball as much. Okay, after I've done that a few times, and then I'm going to release the pressure between my palm. So the squished ball is just going to form a super shiny ball. So that will be the first step. And to make the oval, now I'm just going to use one palm on the other and just flatten it. Okay, so now you can see the difference between the round and then the oval. Okay, you can also use a finger and then you can keep it on your work counter and then make an oval. So this is more like a capsule. So depending on how much of 3D you want, you can just retain the capsule or you can flatten out. So what really happens when you flatten out, you will be able to give the detailing. So now if this will be used as one of the shape, which is the head of an animal, then we will be needing to have the eyes, the nose, the lips, mouth, everything here on this. Now if it was a rounded capsule like this, then to have the features on a rounded space is a little difficult. So we just flatten out the oval and that becomes the S2, which is the oval 1, and that will be the second shape that you will be learning and doing. Now moving on to the third one, which is the oval 2, right? So that we will be using this. Again, I'm just going to leave it covered. Now fondant, you know, the moment you pick up the fondant, you know, you have to pull, fold and knead it well, and then the next step is to squish between your palms, get rid of the creases, release the pressure, make the ball and have a smooth ball. Then for the oval, you know, you just have to place it on your counter, make the oval first. Okay, now you need to flatten it out. That shape is going to be used for human face. Now for the human face, we generally arrive at a chin, a narrow chin. So now by shaping the bottom, the back also has to be shaped. So I'm just going to flatten the back and the front will be the chin, and I'm going to flatten the back. The rest of the features will be added later. For now, we're just going to understand the third shape. We just flatten the top and then have a tapered end here for the chin. So this will be the forehead and that will be the chin. So we first make a same oval shape, okay, and in this we just had pinched this one end, which is this one, to just make a pointy chin. Okay, so we have both the ovals and the ball. We're just going to mark it S1, S2 and S3. So these are the preliminary shapes, and then We'll come back again on the next lesson doing some more basic shapes.